Hi, my name is Susan James, and I'm a self-discovery master trainer. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this introduction to the self-discovery life mastery process. If you are sincerely interested in your own personal growth and self-mastery, and in fulfilling your potential, you will find that what you're about to hear may be of infinite value. The man who created and authored the self-discovery techniques is Rob James, and he's going to talk to you about this very important subject matter. First, though, let me tell you a little bit about Rob and then about his background. Rob is very unconventional and controversial, and he can be very intense and confrontational. He's a fierce and compassionate spiritual warrior, unlike any other you have ever met or heard of. If you're not very sincere about your personal growth, you probably won't like him very much. In fact, some people find him highly offensive, especially the know-it-all types. Why? Because he is bold, always pushing the envelope, taking things higher, and consistently demanding more of himself and all those around him. As a young man, Rob grew up on a cattle ranch in south central Florida and worked as a cowboy for several years. Here he worked with men who are a lot like John Wayne, men who are tough, honest, hard-working, and who love nature and family. He integrated these core values into his life. At the age of 17, he did a tour in the United States Marine Corps, where he further learned about integrity, discipline, loyalty, courage, honor, and commitment. In his 20s, Rob spent several years as a rebel, confused about the direction of his life and what it was all about. This confusion motivated him to start reading self-help books, take workshops and courses, and try to understand and cope with his own struggles and the inner demons that were plaguing him. During these years of seeking, Rob read hundreds of books and studied religions and the great teachings of the world. From childhood, he'd always had a very powerful ability to assimilate large amounts of information and extrapolate their essence. In the late 1980s, Rob realized that all the answers and solutions that he was seeking were to be found inside of himself, and he began intensive meditation and exploration of consciousness. That intensive commitment is ongoing and continues to this very day. After taking a powerful and life-changing series of courses created by an enlightened teacher, Rob worked his way to master trainer and then began training others in how to operate from awareness and manage their consciousness. As he did this for several years, he maintained a passionate intention to accelerate his own growth and empowerment and that of others. Rob knew his life purpose was to support people to realize their own self-mastery in a much quicker and more direct way than had previously ever existed. This intention led to him having insights and revelations into how to create a highly effective strategy to accelerate the realization of unlimited human potential. In 2001, Rob was compelled to document his body of work and created the self-discovery techniques and the first workshop. Since then, more advanced training has evolved, and several thousand people have had major transformational changes and increases in personal empowerment due to this revolutionary and evolutionary strategy. It continues to expand and evolve as Rob and the trainer team spend thousands of hours every year mastering the ability to accelerate the realization of human potential. As a result of his vision, intention, and commitment, people are now realizing their true self and mastering every area of their lives more quickly and effectively than ever before on this planet. They are becoming happier and more successful, their well-being is increasing, and their relationships are more fulfilling. There are no limits to what can be created by a person as they integrate the self-discovery techniques along the path of the self-discovery life mastery process. I introduce to you Rob James.
For thousands of years, mankind has been seeking the answers to the really big questions. Why am I here? What is the purpose of life? What is my source? Where do I come from? How does the world and the universe work? How can I fulfill my desires? How can I fulfill my potential? How can I make life better and more fulfilling? Over these thousands of years, many sages, philosophers, and wise men have answered these questions in many different ways. However, giving somebody an intellectual answer, an idea, a concept, does not result in them having the realization or the experience that the idea represents. For example, teaching someone about Texas, having them read dozens of books on Texas, watching movies about Texas, or talking to Texans will not make that person a Texan or give them their own real first-hand experience of Texas. They need to go and experience Texas firsthand to know what it's really like. How to support a person to translate an idea into their own personal experience, their own understanding, has been the great challenge teachers, spiritual leaders, and philosophers have faced for many centuries, and it's still that way to this day. You can go on the internet nowadays and you will find millions of answers for all of the big questions I spoke of earlier. There are infinite gurus, teachers, coaches, experts, etc., all proclaiming that they have the answers to all of your problems. In fact, we are overwhelmed with answers, information, and solutions in this chaotic and fast-paced modern world that we live in. So the real question we have to ask ourselves is, with all the knowledge that's available in this information age that we live in, why are so many people still frustrated, stressed, confused, angry, depressed, nervous, and unfulfilled? The answer is simple. Information alone cannot give a person the ability to realize their potential or fulfill their lives. Ideas are just ideas unless they can be fully realized and experienced firsthand. A master can talk to you about enlightenment for 20 years, but if they don't train you in an effective strategy that enables you to have the experience for yourself, it is just more entertaining information and knowledge. The mind loves this, but the heart is still longing. Many of you listening to me right now know exactly what I'm talking about. You're experiencing this in your own life every day. You may have read all the books, you may have attended many workshops and trainings, you may be highly educated, you may even be a genius, you may be quite successful already. You may even be experiencing a certain level of mastery in your life. However, if you don't live with a deep sense of bliss and well-being, and if your mind is not clear and serene, if your concentration is not powerful and penetrating and focused, if you don't easily master anything that you take on in your life, there is still plenty of room to grow. In fact, if you are sincere about your self-empowerment, you know there is no limit to human potential. We can always grow more. By the way, do you think things happen for a reason? Or even possibly, do you believe that you create things to happen? If so, you know that it's no mistake that you're listening to me right now. In fact, do you feel it's likely that what you are seeking is revealing itself to you in this very moment? What every person really wants at the deepest level is to be their true self. This true self is aware, serene, benevolent, creative, and free to realize any possibility that it chooses to create and experience. Everyone has had moments of experiencing their true self. A good example is when you fall in love, or when you're in nature, Or maybe you've experienced being in the zone or in the flow of life. Very few people are able to sustain living in the flow of the present moment. In fact, probably only about 1% of humanity lives in this state of self-mastery. When you operate as the true self, you are fully present, aware, and able to direct your attention as you intuitively choose to. You are eager to take on challenges because you know you will be victorious. You know you will succeed. There's a constant sense of adventure and enthusiasm toward life, and an eternal optimism. You know that the beliefs you choose to hold create your reality, your perception, and you can easily shift your beliefs at will, therefore easily and deliberately create whatever you choose to create in your life. Some of you listening may say, I already know this, or I already do this. I challenge you to be more real with yourself. It takes courage to admit that we still have more room to grow. No one has ever reached the limits of human potential. In fact, I will go further by saying that even the greatest masters who have ever lived only scratched the surface of what is possible for human beings. Isn't it exciting to know that we will always have more opportunity and possibility, and we will never get bored or stuck or be limited by a ceiling? One of the major breakthroughs that we discovered by applying the self-discovery techniques is the ability to discover hidden, unconscious beliefs that are limiting or even harmful and destructive. Human consciousness is much like an iceberg. The conscious level of thinking is like part of the iceberg that's above the water. As most of you know, the vast majority of an iceberg is below the water level. This majority of our consciousness that is underneath our everyday level of thinking is where limiting beliefs, sabotage patterns, and other stored, resisted parts of our psyche are hidden from us. This is not new information. The great thinkers and sages have known this for centuries. The challenge has always been how to access this deep unconscious and to discover and release the limitations that can sabotage us and hinder us from our full potential. For example, let's say that you are practicing positive thinking and affirmations, and you keep yourself in a successful mindset as much as possible. What you will find is that when you are under pressure or stress, these suppressed unconscious patterns, they'll arise and sabotage your efforts to be happy, successful, and fulfilled. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. No matter how well-meaning or committed you've been to a goal or ideal, some negative self-defeating pattern arises and hinders you along the way. In the past, the only strategy people had was to apply superhuman will and persist, strive, and struggle until they succeeded. Often this required a lot of time and energy. Many people have reached some levels of success in their business or personal life and had all of it fall apart. This causes a lot of people to lose heart, to get discouraged, to give up, or to settle for much less. Thanks to the revolutionary self-discovery techniques, we are now able to expand our awareness into the deeper levels of our consciousness that were once unknown to us or maybe only vaguely known, and use the techniques to deliberately release the limiting beliefs and harmful emotions that have formerly sabotaged us. These unconscious negative beliefs, fears, and emotions, they're what causes fatigue, lack of enthusiasm, stress, illness, and they can cause death. Being able to discover and release these harmful aspects of our consciousness is revolutionary and liberating. Before the self-discovery techniques, undertaking the exploration of the unconscious part of our psyche was a daunting task, difficult and even dangerous. The self-discovery techniques give a person the ability to expand and deepen their own self-awareness, to discover and release limiting beliefs and emotions, and to create ideal, empowering beliefs, resulting in the ability to live your ideal life. Imagine having an owner's manual to your own psyche, your own soul, and being able to manage and program yourself and who you're being so that you can create anything your heart desires. And even better yet, having a guide, a self-discovery trainer who's fully competent and has walked the path before you to support you in mastering yourself and your life. Eventually, through practice, you become your own guru, your own personal life coach, and nothing is beyond your attainment. This is beyond traditional spirituality, beyond psychology and psychotherapy, beyond traditional enlightenment strategies. It's beyond self-empowerment or self-improvement or motivational trainings. The self-discovery life mastery path, it brings it all together. It gives you the experience and abilities that you have always been seeking or knew on some level that they were possible. We call it the evolution revolution. I'm going to be bold and I'm going to tell you this. There's nothing on this planet as direct and effective for creating self-mastery and fulfillment as the self-discovery techniques. How do I know this? Because I tried just about everything before this and I got a little results here and there. But this body of work has brought me freedom and power, love and fulfillment beyond anything I ever imagined before. I am my own best product. Sure, as we said before, everybody claims to have the answers now, and everybody says theirs is the best. This is exactly why we give people a free experience of our work and offer a satisfaction guarantee. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Meet with a self-discovery trainer and experience a free life perspective with them. Review our website at selfdiscoverytechniques.com and read some of the articles and other people's testimonies and feel into it for yourself. Part of you already knows. Part of you is ready to make powerful, positive changes in your life right now. And there's probably a part of you in that unconscious part of yourself that may hinder you from taking the next step. It may make up reasons like, I'm too busy, or I don't have enough money, or I already know all this stuff. It sounds good, but I'll do it later. Just be aware that this is how sabotage patterns hinder us from getting exactly what we want in our life. It's no mistake that you're listening to me on this recording. Things happen for a reason. Some people say it this way: the universe is always trying to deliver exactly what we need. I believe that's why you're listening to this. What do you believe? How much longer are you going to wait? Are you ready to feel worthy enough to have everything your heart desires? Are you ready to go beyond what you think you already know? I challenge you to take that next step. I hope to meet you in the near future and get the opportunity to support your enlightenment and self-mastery with all my heart. I believe that you and I are old companions and that we're on a long journey together, and that this is the important time that we all agreed upon. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best. And I'm going to leave you with an inspirational song composed by Barry Weinberg.
A world where love prevails. Challenges are handled with wisdom. Humanity as a whole abounds with joy, growth, and freedom. Cooperation is a standard practice. Prosperity abounds. Governments act in the interest of the highest good of the people. Creativity flows. This is our vision. This is states of being for the masses. Everyone on earth has food to eat, and all basic needs are met. Nature supported and cared for by mankind. Mankind aligns with nature. Mankind supports each other in attaining their highest and best. This is our vision, this is our quest. This is our mission, this is our test. This will accomplish, this will achieve, this will be real if we believe. If we are faithful to our dream, with wild abandon we will redeem the home of the free, the land of the brave. Not just the US, but the whole human race. I know it sounds crazy, I know it's insane that we spend our lives for this to attain, but this is our vision, we will achieve in our lifetime if we believe. This is our vision, this is our quest. This is our mission, this is our test. This will accomplish, this will achieve.